You tell yourself it's over, that it happened years ago, that you've moved on, you've grown, you're stronger now, and yet your chest tightens when someone raises their voice. You go quiet when a conversation feels tense. You overthink a simple text. You feel rejected before anyone actually rejects you. Then you sit there wondering, why am I like this? The truth is uncomfortable, but it's freeing once you see it clearly. Your past is not just a memory, it is a pattern, and patterns don't disappear just because time passes. Your brain is not built to forget pain. It is built to remember it so you can survive next time. When something hurt you deeply, your mind didn't just record the event. It recorded the tone of voice, the facial expression, the silence after the argument, the feeling in your stomach, the way your heart raced. It stored all of it. And most importantly, it stored what you did to survive it. Maybe you stayed quiet. Maybe you apologized even when it wasn't your fault. Maybe you shut down. Maybe you became the funny one to lighten the tension. Maybe you became independent so you would never need anyone again. At the time, those reactions protected you. They made sense. They kept you safe. But here's what no one tells you. Your nervous system doesn't understand time the way you do. It doesn't know that you are older now, stronger now, in a different environment now. It only knows patterns. So when something today even slightly resembles something from back then, your body reacts first. Logic comes later. That is why your reactions sometimes feel bigger than the situation. Because you are not only reacting to this moment, you are reacting to every similar moment your body remembers. Someone criticizes your work and suddenly it feels like you are 12 years old again, trying not to disappoint a parent. Someone becomes distant, and your chest feels heavy like it did when you first felt abandoned. Someone misunderstands you, and you feel the same frustration you felt when no one listened before. You're not crazy. You're triggered. A trigger is not weakness. It is emotional memory activated. And emotional memory is powerful, stronger than logic, stronger than positive thinking, stronger than telling yourself to calm down. That's why awareness alone doesn't fix it. You can understand your patterns and still repeat them, because reactions are not decisions. They are reflexes. Reflexes live in the body. That tight jaw, that racing heart, that sudden urge to defend yourself, that impulse to withdraw. Those are not personality flaws. They are learned survival responses. Some people learn to fight. Some learn to flee. Some learn to freeze. Some learn to fawn and please everyone in the room. None of those responses mean you are broken. They mean you adapted. The problem is not that you adapted. The problem is that your system never updated the software. You are still running survival code in situations that no longer require survival. And here's something even deeper. The brain prefers what is familiar over what is healthy, even if familiar hurts. That's why you might find yourself in similar relationships with different faces, similar arguments with different people, similar endings with different beginnings. Your system is drawn to what feels known, because known feels predictable, and predictable feels safe, even when it isn't. You might say you want peace, but your nervous system is addicted to intensity because intensity feels like home. You might say you want reassurance, but push it away when you get it because it feels unfamiliar. You might crave stability, but feel restless when things are calm. That's not self-sabotage in the dramatic sense. That is conditioning. And conditioning can be rewired, but not through shame. Shame only reinforces the old pattern. Why am I like this? What's wrong with me? I should be better by now. That inner voice sounds like motivation, but it's actually punishment. Healing begins when the question changes. Instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" you ask, "What did I learn that made this reaction necessary?" That question opens compassion. Maybe you learned that love could disappear suddenly, so now you cling tightly or detach first. Maybe you learned that mistakes led to humiliation, so now you strive for perfection or avoid trying. Maybe you learned that your emotions were too much, so now you minimize yourself to stay acceptable. Every reaction has a history. Every defense has a story. When you start seeing your reactions as younger parts of you trying to protect you, something shifts. You stop fighting yourself. You start understanding yourself. And understanding creates space. In that space, you can pause, just for a second. You feel the reaction rise, the anger, the fear, the urge to shut down. But instead of immediately acting on it, you notice it. You breathe. You remind yourself, this is old. This feels familiar because it is familiar, but I'm not there anymore. That pause is powerful. It is small, but it is revolutionary, because in that pause, you are no longer fully controlled by the past. You are witnessing it. Healing is not about never being triggered again. It is about shortening the distance between reaction and awareness. At first, you notice it hours later, then minutes later, then in the middle of it. Eventually, sometimes before it even fully takes over. And each time you respond differently, even slightly differently, you teach your nervous system something new. You teach it that disagreement does not always mean abandonment, that silence does not always mean rejection, that mistakes do not always mean humiliation, that conflict does not always mean danger. Safety is not an idea. It is an experience repeated enough times that the body believes it. That is why healing takes time. You are not changing thoughts. You are changing patterns carved by repetition. Be patient with yourself. You are undoing years of automatic wiring. There will be days when you react exactly the same way you always have. That does not mean you failed. It means you are human. Awareness itself is progress, even when behavior takes longer to catch up. The goal is not perfection. The goal is freedom. Freedom is when your partner raises their voice and you feel the surge of anxiety, but you don't shut down automatically. Freedom is when someone pulls away and you feel the fear, but you don't chase or disappear immediately. Freedom is when criticism stings, but it doesn't define your worth. Your past may have shaped your nervous system, but it does not have to define your future. You are not your triggers. You are not your coping mechanisms. You are not the defense strategies you built to survive. You are the awareness behind them. And awareness is powerful. The past still influences you because it was trying to protect you. Thank it for that. Then gently, teach it that you are safe now. Not through force, not through shame, but through repeated, patient compassion. One calm response at a time. One honest conversation at a time. One deep breath at a time. Your past may still echo in your reactions, but it does not get the final word. You do.